Is this mic on? Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is a sound check. Brace yourself, cause we're coming on the level one. Metal moves, singing speakers hotter than the sun. Dropping new bands that you never heard before. Seeing music in and we'll play it all around the world. Lots of haters talking trash, they don't like your sound. Grab a talker, join the party, and we'll shut them down. Independent radio is the future now. Turn it up, tell a friend. It's showtime.
listening to Soundcheck with the Moose.
You can say what you want, man, and you can argue it all day long in musical circles with your friends, with your coworkers, with your girlfriend, your significant other, whatever it is. But guitar is the greatest thing. Guitar, it's in the heaviest of music, in the jazziest of music, any kind of music you put forward, it has unparalleled emotion. Guitarded is like one of my favorite things to do because it's all guitar music. This entire show, guitar music, and this is off of the Guitar Ballads, Guitar Hero thing with 14 different artists. We got a bonus track too, so yeah, man. I love guitar stuff. This isn't so much about rating in tacos and saying this or that. Like at the beginning of that track, I was kind of bored. I was like, and then it broke in and just really brought the emotion. The feeling was sick. The tone was killer. I wasn't a big fan of some of the sound effects. That was kind of like, okay, I don't know what that was about, but it's such a beautiful piece of music. And that's the other thing about Guitarded and guitar tracks is that there's no interruption from or drums doing 210 BPM. It goes in so many different directions. Amazing guitar players don't just play one kind of music, you know what I mean? So I don't know I'm not familiar with the names of any of these players, just to be honest with you. So I don't know what they do normally, so I can't judge them off of whatever band they're in or whatever they do. But I mean, that first cut from Jake Wilson, that was beautiful. It was moving. The tone was really nice. It wasn't anywhere near proggy enough to bother me. Sometimes, instrumentalists get a little tricky on the sound effects and the arrangements, and sometimes it's just not. That song didn't need anything, but it just was soaked with emotion. So big fan of that tune. I would give that song, 4 tacos. Really, the playing was beautiful, nice bluesy playing, and then some shredalicious, just rip and tear stuff in there as well. But rip and tear that was clean. It wasn't overly distorted and just, So I love to talk about guitar and tone and playing technique and stuff like that. So we'll get into that tonight. Coming up next is somebody called Jan Syka. Hope, Fear, and Faith is the name of the tune. So we'll check that out on Soundcheck's Guitarded episode 2, I think. I don't know. Volume 1, 2, 3. Check.
The Moose Rocks Texas. where you get raided in tacos. Only on Soundcheck.
One of my favorite things about listening to instrumental music, and just music in general, is I like music that takes you to another place. And I think that is individual for all of us. I mean, that song to me was very New York City streets at, at 3 a.m. kind of a deal. Got that old coffee house kind of, just not very many people out, dim lights, just kind of, there's a lot of sorrow in that. I mean, that was really that. So, real quick, I wanted to say, I know that there's somebody who usually listens to this show and is used to just full blast metal the whole time. And here's the deal with the Guitarded shows. They're not always going to be like that. Now, listen, a lot of the Guitarded stuff we do is going to be prog. A lot of it's going to be tech, death, but we're going to do blues. We're going to do as any kind of instrumental guitar we can get. I don't know that we're going to go as far as to do like a bluegrass record or anything, but I'm going to tell you something right now, and you think I'm kidding. If there's somebody listening to the show, go try to figure out a couple Ricky Skaggs tunes or, Vince Gill, and then mock the, bluegrass guys. There's some disgustingly good players out there, and they're not all metalheads. I know it's hard to believe, right? Everybody's not as good as Dimebag Daryl. Okay, there's a whole different world of music out there. You know what I'm saying? So when we do these shows, now listen, I'm not saying that there's not going to be a bunch of metal, because there might be. But this album, and one of the reasons why I was excited about doing it was called a ballad record. I was like, sweet. This will be a little bit of a different flavor than, the usual terrifying guitar death metal bands that we play. So, listen, I love death metal more than anybody else, but being a musician, I like to look at all spectrums of music. And, not only do I like, Dimebag and Kerry King and Randy Rhoads and John Petrucci and all that stuff, but also like Dave Matthews, and I also like, what's the kid's name that does the Dashboard Confessionals? I like Jennifer Batten. I like all kinds of guitar music. So we're going to get into as much of it as we can. So, yeah, dude, I'm stoked. This next tune by Al Joseph, a tune called Clock the Pain. It's Soundcheck's Guitarded. I figured it out. This is volume number 2. So I guarantee you I will lose track of how many volumes it is. It's Guitarded. That's all we really need to know. Al Joseph right here off of the Guitar Heroes Guitar Ballad number 2 CD with Clock the Pain.
Denise, that's Oklahoma.
Want to know if you suck?
Hey, you suck.
Send your music to Soundcheck.
Yeah, Al Joseph there. So knowing that we're dealing with kind of a ballad kind of record, one of the things that I was really looking for is how the players use space. I mean, emotion is I guess, the biggest signature of a ballad or whatever. I'm trying to think of the right way to term all this. But I really like the how they use the open space. You can hear the notes. They're putting soul and vibrato into the notes. It's not just a bunch of staccato picked, rapid fire shred, hammer on madness. There's space and there's emotion to be felt. So, it's not a lot of alternative picking and it's not a lot of finger tapping. This is making love to your fretboard. You know what I mean? This is about bringing emotion to music, and don't get me wrong. Sometimes, listen, it's hard to do that in a lot of music, because sometimes your guitar is just used for a melody, used for a riff, and that's one of the beautiful things about it is you can really you can turn an entire tune around just with. The people that believe in that a guitar solo is a song within a song kind of a deal. I totally believe that. I've heard some pretty cool tones so far. Nothing that really just blew my mind. But that's one of the things I want to say to a lot of the bands that we play on Soundcheck and Metal Moose is, those little silver things on the front of your amp, those are called knobs. They turn, and cranking all of them to 10 is not usually your best option. You know what I mean? And I like a player that will explore their sound, explore the instrument that they play, different pickups, different pickup configurations, amp setups, miking. There's so much fun stuff you can do, different speakers if you want to go Celestion, or if you want to do an old British tube, or, do you want to do an enclosed miking? There's so many different ways you could go. You got a hot rodded Marshall. Do you want to go Soldano? Do you want to use a EMG single coils or an 8182 setup neck bridge, or do you want to go tone zone with a super distortion? You know what I mean? It's so wide open, and I love to listen and try to figure out what these guys are doing, and guys and ladies, excuse me. Coming up next, we're going to find another one right here with Claudio, Hymn of Faith.
Rocks New York.
Find Soundcheck on iTunes, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and in your local taco truck.
Man, I got a bad feeling the more that I listen to this compilation, all I'm going to be able to do is just kind of go, wow. I mean, there's so much emotion going on. There's so many cool tones, and I like the particular how the songs build. You know what I mean? It's not just 36th note arpeggios and super high, drum speeds from the beginning. There's a lot of build to it. I guess that's part of the cool, emotional thing, how it crescendos and where the song has a forte. And once again, really, really beautiful tones. I like how crisp the guitar has been so far. Not too much. It's not muddy. Nothing I've heard has been muddy so far. It's been clean. It's been well played. It's been nice, precise. And like I said, nice tones, and the production's done very well too. So I don't know if we're going to run into an insane metal kind of a deal. So for later on, I'm going to throw in the bonus track from a band I played a couple weeks ago on the show, maybe called Arch Echo. It's more of a metal tune, but good Lord have mercy. You can hear so many influences too. That's another great thing about listening to this, all the way from Tom Schultz to Tony Iommi, even a lot of Steve Vai, of course, and Joe Satriani, Alan Holdsworth. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I don't know where these people are from, but certainly your location, geography plays a lot into what you sound like. So I'm enjoying it. I said that was a nice tune. Another probably 3.754 point good. The end was just wicked. Had some mustard on that, man. It was really nice. So, and I didn't say his last name because I couldn't pronounce it. But the next artist is called, what is that? Gianluca Ferro. Guessing Italian. We'll find out.
The Moose rocks Florida. Text in your request to the Soundcheck Taco line 424-666-7356.
Man, I might need a cigarette and some alone time. That was sexy. Wow, good. Good example of how to be eloquent, how to be mindful of emotion and phrasing, and still just rip the strings off of your guitar. What an awesome example of prowess on how to handle your instrument like you own the damn thing. That was really, really well played. It was and I guess if you're one of the guitar players on this record and you're listening to it going, well, this guy's obviously into metal, so he liked that one the best because it was the most metal. They don't think that that's a fair assessment. I really like metal phrasing. I like a lot of things about metal guitar. But what catches me more than anything, whether or not, like I said, it's metal or if it's, Demiola or Chick Corea, you know what I mean? Wes Bentley, it depends on the emotion. Sometimes you can just feel that when you can hear the fingers cut into the string, and it doesn't matter what it is. I love speed. I love fast runs, but phrasing is where a lot of that comes in. So I promise you, it's not just about metal. Really, really good cut. And I look forward to hearing more of this. This is my kind of deal. It's like driving music to me. You just jump in the car and throw on something like this, and it just takes you places, man. It takes you, especially this, this ballad format of sadness. It takes you back to high school and those, girlfriend memories or whatever. You know what I mean? It's good. It's sorrow and emotion are so triggered by music, and you get a lot of it out of this. It's a cool thing about that is because I'm about to blow my nose on my tablecloth in the studio here. At the same time, I'm going, holy crap, this guy is just shredding. Beautiful tune, man. I like it a lot. Coming up next is Brian Mallard with Follow Your Dreams. I think it's right. Yeah, Brian Mallard. Yeah, it's really Thai. Adobe Audition. If you guys want to make your fonts a little bigger, because old guys like me are like, what the hell does that say? That'd be cool. You could do that. So, just throwing that out there. Brian Mallard on Soundcheck from the Moose Pit in OKC. Catch us on iTunes, please.
The Moose Rocks, Colorado.
This is Izzy Devious and Lieutenant Colonel Lee from Accidental President in Sydney, Australia.
G'day to all you listeners at Metal Moose Radio.
Agitators and flag bearers.
Stay brutal.
So obviously the most metal cut we've had on the record so far. There was every metal possible rip in there. I don't know if I heard any 8-finger tapping or anything like that, but I mean, there was some staccato shred. There was some hammer on stuff going on. I liked the couple things that I really liked about it. Overall, in the big picture of shred instrumentals, that was pretty, I guess standard, and that's not a bad thing. But the things I liked about it is that beautiful clean tone, man. The jazz-esque chord progression. I like how he ran up that chromatic scale and dumped right back down to a minor. Also really liked how he held his harmonics and let them breathe a little bit, because I think harmonics are horribly cut off. I mean, harmonics are just they're really good sonic tools if you can work with them. Eddie Van Halen's really good at that. You can go back to Cathedral off the Diver Down record and get into the brilliance of that. But when you can tap, or even if you're using a pinch harmonic, if you can carry that sonic tone into something more than just a quick flash of stupidity, which a lot of people do, then there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, it's one of those tools that gets used as a pay attention to me deal that really could be used to create some excellent sonic opportunities. That doesn't happen very often. So, and it can be used in every format of music too. So it was, I mean, I would give that probably a 4 taco deal. I mean, it was nice. The playing was great. If you throw it out there with, Joey Tafola and, Marty Friedman and yada, 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 John Five, all the shred masters and Sean Lane and all that stuff. I mean, it kind of drowns in the sea of what has been going on for many years, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it was nicely done. I loved the clean tone. Beautiful. Just excellent, beautiful, clean tone. Nice progressions. Everything was cool about that. It was good. Good. Every now and then that sparkle of the clean was just, I mean, it just left me breathless. Roy Ziv with Defying Gravity.
You are listening to the Metal Moose.
Hey, rock fans, this is T. Singh,
Matt Vogt, Rob Pace,
and Joe Sanchez,
and we're from
Drama Queen.
You're listening to the Metal Moose Radio Show where Oklahoma rocks.
You're damn right. It's Moose here with you from the Moosehead. You know what I just realized? We're an hour into the show, and I just figured out that this comes out on Halloween, so, happy All Hallows Eve of Sam Haines to you, of The Craft. And, man, make sure and have a good time. Make sure and take care of each other. A lot of people like to, partake on days like this. And sometimes that can be dangerous. A lot of people out. Just be careful, man. And have a good spooky good. I love Halloween. Love it. So, as a matter of fact, I was telling you guys about redoing the studio. And I was just putting up some stuff. And I got my original Halloween DVD and Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown at the same time sitting on the shelf over there. So I'm going to be redoing some stuff around here. I've got some new racks and just some kind of new, a bigger room and some different cool stuff for the inside the studio. So this is kind of where I get to, this is my, escape room, if you will. So I got some new stuff. This is the Guitarded episode, volume 2. It may be even volume 3. I'm not even sure, but we're going to act like it's volume number 2. So speaking of Halloween, I got a pumpkin, evil pumpkin tattoo on my right upper shin. Just a filler because I have this big gap in between some other tattoos. And so went to Tornado Tattoo, which is my, official tattoo shop. So Josh Hawley put this pumpkin on there for me. Jack-o'-lantern. Pretty cool. Very evil. Very Halloween 3-ish. So yeah, man. Love Halloween. Happy Halloween to you. Don't eat too much candy. I'm being diabetic, so I don't eat a lot of candy. So, but I do love it, man. Reese's peanut butter cups and Kit Kats. I could bury myself in that candy and eat my way out. So yeah, man. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Lots of crazy guitar. This is the Guitar Ballads compilation. So I'm going to be honest with you. Thus far, it's been kind of hard. There's so much cool emotion and feeling and for a guy who does, mainly like death metal-esque shows, I'm kind of like at a loss what to say other than I'm a guitar player. So I really appreciate the work. So we're going to keep going. We've had some metal. We've had some kind of blues. We've had all kinds of stuff, man. So we're going to have more as we go here on the Guitarded volume number 2. Happy Halloween once again. Make sure and call and leave us a message on the taco line, 424-666-7356. Marius Asarto. Yeah, we'll try.
You are listening to the Metal Moose. Moose Rocks Canada.
Beautiful, beautiful. Once again, one of those kind of late night, early in the morning downtown walks. Beautiful. Just, I love the driving music. Good driving, overnight music. Some Mateus Asado. And the cool thing about that is it goes along for me with some of my most favorite instrumental tracks. Angela, the theme from Taxi, if you've ever heard that, by Bob James. Also, Jessica by the Allman Brothers, fantastic. That song is timeless. Yeah, man. So I don't even know what to say other than that. To me, like that fits in with that group of, excellent, just, close your eyes and let the music take you somewhere. Nice playing. It's just the best thing about that was the mood to me. It just had that awesome mood. Like I said, this is kind of weird for me. So I'm used to dealing with a bunch of bands, whose song titles are, masturbating with a cheese grater. And so getting into this kind of stuff is interesting because I love emotional music, and I really, I like music that takes you places, and this stuff is really taking you places. And of course, sometimes when I do the Guitarded shows, it's just 180-second sweep notes, and it's metal insanity, and those are a little bit easier for me to describe and give a taco rating to. I would totally give that song 5 tacos. It was produced well. Loved the soundscape. I loved the emotion. I liked the playing. It took me places. Those are all good things. So it's a little bit more interesting for me to kind of do this, show my emotional side. I dig it though, man. I dig it. I dig the hell out of it. All right, man. So coming up next is Micah Tyska with a song called Pulse. Once again, I don't know, this could be jazz, could be metal, could be bluegrass. So we need a good shred bluegrass on acid, so who knows? Well, we're going to figure out off the Guitar Ballads 2 compilation. It's Soundcheck.
Hey, motherfucker. This is Angelo from Haniwa, and you are listening to the Moose.
listening to the Metal Moose.
Got a whole lot of passion and warfare feeling coming out of that. Very heavy on the keyboards, very mystical, very Steve Vai, which is, listen, it's a good thing because he's one of the greatest and immense talent. But my first, if I were looking at this like I were doing a sound check show, the first thing I would say to that person is, listen, it's very cool that Steve Vai is an influence and that you shape your playing. And of course, we're just listening to one song. I have no idea what the rest of the album sounds like. I mean, I love the song. It's really good. But it just sounded too much like a Steve Vai cut. It sounded like, the lost B-sides from Passion of Warfare. They had that super processed envelope noise gate feel thing. The staccato picking was excellent. It was very fluid. Had a big wide open spaces in it. The overall composition of the tune was cool, with the whole fairy kind of whatever theme. But I liked it. It just, like, on first listen, I'm like, okay, well, this sounds like something that came straight off of Passion of Warfare. So I don't know, though. Good tune, though. I like it. Like, it's not like I would turn that guy down if he was like, hey, can I play guitar in your band? Hell yeah. Please. It was good. It just was a little too much like Passion of Warfare for me, because it takes away from the credibility of the creativity of the person. Like, that just says, hey, watch how much I can be like something else. And I mean, that to me is sometimes can be a good thing. Sometimes there's bands that are direct copies off of other bands that are really good. So, but for me, like I said, just a little too reminiscent of old Steve there. Yeah, but cool. Larry Basile with a tune called Redeemed coming up next. If you're new to the show, never heard it before, this is Sound Check. My name is Moose. I've never heard these songs, and this is all guitar episode. We'll call it Guitarded. So I'm hearing it for the first time, and I'm going to tell you what I think about it. And it's a simple deal. Larry Basile, Redeemed.
With the latest in high-octane Metal Moose. You've been weighed, you've been measured, you've been found wanting. Metal Moose. For the latest in high-octane Metal Moose. Visit them on Facebook at Metal Moose Radio for weekly podcasts and more up-to-date information and events. Metal Up. Metal Moose.
listening to Soundcheck with the Moose.
You know, one of the deals that I think a lot as I'm doing this show is there's so many metalheads that listen to this show. And listen, I'm primarily a metal show, hence the name Metal Moose, you know. We play hard, extreme music. You know, we also play glam and grunge and punk and industrial and stuff like that. But my point is that sometimes I just want to grab people who listen to, you know, Autopsy all the time and say, it is okay, man, to move, you know, branch out a little bit. A song very reminiscent of Russ Freeman and the Rippingtons, which, in my opinion, could do no wrong. The Rippingtons could, like, record themselves farting, and I would buy it. I think this is a good opportunity for any good guitar teacher or anybody that's a good steward in the world of guitar will tell you, don't just pigeonhole yourself in you know, one kind of music. And look, you know, we all want to be Jeff Loomis. You know, we all want to be Paul Gilbert. We all want to be Dimebag Darrell. We want to, you know, I get it, man. But I promise you, those guys know more chops than just, you know, syncopated arpeggios over polyrhythms. You know what I mean? Those guys did their work. You ever seen a Paul Gilbert guitar session? He plays a lot of, he plays like, what the hell are their names? The Spice Girls and Madonna songs. And, you know, and it talks about the actual theory behind the music. And there's a lot of really good non-metal stuff out there. So this is for the, you know, kids trying to learn how to play guitar and learn something besides metal, man. You try some chicken picking, try some country music. Ask Zach Wilde. It's incredibly difficult, and he incorporated it into Ozzy's music. So there's so much good stuff out there. So don't be turned away because this isn't metal. That's bothersome. That was a great song. Like I said, really reminded me of the Rippingtons, and I love the Rippingtons, so I loved that. Coming up next is Jack Somebody with a song called Something. I'll figure that out after the break.
Is this mic on? Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is a sound check.
listening to the Metal Moose.
Man, just another amazing tune. Really, really emotional. I love one of the cool things, and my hope with metalheads listening to the show that they hear is you want to really, really help the cleanliness of your licks, whether it be lead or whether it just be just riffing itself. Turn your distortion off. Do it cleanly. You'll be surprised how many mistakes you can find when you turn that distortion off, because distortion loves to hide mistakes. I mean, that's how people can pick so quickly, and it blurs into this big mess. You know, I'd love to hear like Leader of the Rats by Morbid Angel done to a Fender Twin. You know what I mean? Just but what a warm, just tubey, fleshy kind of tone that song had. It reminded me of like an extension of it, like a good I don't know, bridge or something from Don Henley's Boys of Summer. Had that same warm, longing, kind of sad feel to it. I was just thinking, you know, there's so many, like, you know, you got Pat Metheny and Chick Corea, and of course, gosh, man, wow. Just what a good tune. I feel like I'm just kind of beating a dead horse in between these songs, because there hasn't been a bad thing yet, not in my estimation. And it's all over the place. A lot of jazz-orientated stuff, which is awesome, because I love that too. It's going to be interesting to see the review or how well this show does, because it's such a non-metal show. I don't know how many of the stations will play this. They'll be like, yeah, so not very metal there, Mr. Moose. Yeah, okay. So anyway, yeah, so I'm having a good time with this. I guess I should say that guy's name since I didn't in the beginning. Jack Thamarat, Before It's Too Late, name of that tune. Check it out, man. Find him on Facebook or Reverb Nation or something. That was awesome. Dave Lockwood with a tune called As the River Runs. So that sounds more metal than most of them have. So what have we had? 2 quasi-metal type songs on here so far. So it's been a majority non-metal show, but so damn guitarlicious. Know what I'm saying? Does anybody else out there get that? I think it's guitarlicious myself. Yeah, man. So coming up right now, Dave Lockwood, As the River Runs on Soundcheck Guitarded.
The Moose Rocks Canada.
Want to know if you suck?
Hey, you suck.
Send your music to Soundcheck.
I knew it was going to have to come out eventually. I was just kind of waiting on the time that it came out. Here's the big bombshell for a lot of you guys. I'm not a big blues fan. I'm not. I've never been. I kind of look back in begrudging attitude at what happened to like Jakey Lee, when he went to Badlands and the blues, and Warren DeMartini, the way blues kind of took over his playing, and I have never liked, and to me there's such a big difference between what some people call Bo Diddley and Robert Johnson. Like, I could listen to Robert Johnson all damn day long. It's so genuine. It's such a real blues. To me is one of those things that is anybody can play a blues scale, and anybody can bend a string. It just has to be real, and I think it's really, really difficult to tell what is a real blues song. It's blues ain't nothing but a good man feeling down. Yeah, fair enough. That that may be truth, but I 90% of the time stray away from blues. Stevie Ray Vaughan was fantastic. Of course we all know that. I get to see him play before he died. That kind of sealed my like for him, because I didn't really like him before I saw him, and I was like, oh my God, that dude can play guitar. So I'm not a big blues fan. That was my least favorite cut on the record so far. It's just not my thing. I don't know. It's too hard to tell if it's genuine or not, and I don't know if I want to take the time to figure that out. So anyway, I know that I'm in the minority on that, because everybody loves the blues. My God, Moose doesn't like the blues. What the hell? Yeah. By the way, I love Badlands, and I love Warren DeMartini, and I'm not saying any bad thing about Jake or Warren, but when the blues came into their play, it just kind of bummed me. I was like, what? Stop. I need another, speed lick. Anyway, Kit Tang, for real, coming up right now on Soundcheck.
You're listening to the Metal Moose.
Another awesome tune, another awesome emotional song, well produced, well played. It's all pretty amazing, you know, if you want to get right down to it. My least favorite song wasn't a bad, above average song. I mean, that's kind of what we're dealing with here. If you dig guitar music and you're big enough to say that you can listen to music that's not screaming heavy metal, you know, I know that that's a hard thing to do. Then this is one of your albums. This is what you listen to. It's awesome. It's good house cleaning music. It's good driving music. It's good just waste the day away kind of music, which is you don't have to pay a lot of attention to it because it just is easy to enjoy. And this has been a total test for me because I don't know what else to say, but wow, you know, this is really good. I am just like stunned at how good this is. So I'm really glad this came through the old wire and I got the chance to listen to it and share it with you guys. You know, this show may do terrible. People may not like it, but I found some really cool stuff here. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm going to go back and search out these artists. Probably not. You know, I've got enough guitar music in my repertoire to last me a while. So but I respect everybody on the record so far that I listened to. Holy crap. There's a big pool of people out there putting out guitar instrument music, and there's a lot of talent out there. So we've had a lot of it on the show, and we're going to continue to do Guitarded shows and have fun with it. I just can't be so emotional. Jeez.
The Moose rocks Canada.
in your request to the Soundcheck Taco line, 424-666-7356.
Okay, that last cut that you just heard was Arch Echo. That was a double shot to end off the show. Arch Echo is not on the compilation. It's just a song that I played a couple weeks ago on Soundcheck, and I didn't realize it was an instrumental. And I thought I'm going to put that on one of the Guitarded shows because, number one, it's awesome. Excellent tune. And number two, I just need another song to make this a good 2-hour show. I love doing these, man. I love doing the Guitarded shows. Of course, so listen, 90% of the time we kind of concentrate on gent and prog death instrumentals and shred palooza, you know. This show was very different. And I knew that when I saw that it was the guitar ballads thing. I thought this is going to be a different kind of show. And it was hard for me to do because I just sit back in awe at, wow, how, you know, what I do the same thing on the prog shows, but I have more insight, I feel like, to be able to talk to the metalhead guitarist as opposed to, like, I couldn't guess what kind of equipment these people are using. You know what I mean? They're way beyond my musical skill. What, I don't even know how to put it, but this is just it's more of an emotional deal. It's the difference between like skydiving and, you know, float tanking, which it's two different deals. So this is more of a float tank kind of a show where I'm just like, how this is guitars and they're pretty and you should listen to them and stuff. I mean, that's kind of what I feel like, you know, when I'm listening to the Faceless, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, did you hear that off tempo scratch or that minor run? And I just, if it's different to me. I don't feel as comfortable discussing anything besides the prowess of what's going on here. I'm just like, okay, these people deserve better than me. It's like really, really talented here. So listen, man, thanks for being here and listening to Soundcheck Guitarded Volume 2. So I'm going to lose track of the numbers. So it's all relative. Trust me, to the day of the week and how much brain power I have left. As a matter of fact, I've got to go do, as soon as I stop doing this show, I have to do another show. So I get into this, I'm in the studio for 12 hours at a time, and my brain just starts melting. So hope you guys had a great Halloween, and it's that time of year. Get ready for some Christmas songs. And yeah, the season of greed, you know, once we're going to get there. So we're going to have a good holiday. And remember, this is the end of the year. End of 2017 will be the last Soundcheck shows that are mixed up. They're going to be categorized to 2018. Every show is going to be its own genre, from death to grind to Viking to goth to industrial to punk. Every show is going to be its own thing. And then we'll throw in a potpourri show every now and then when, you know, the numbers don't line up, and we're going to throw some different stuff in there. But it's going to be a different year next year. We're going to do things a little bit different. Have a good time with it. Just keep reinventing what we do, making it enjoyable and having a good time with it. Because we love you guys being here. I love being in the studio. I love making these podcasts. So make sure and catch us on YouTube, iTunes, Mixcloud, iHeartRadio, Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, all the hell over the place. I say it at the end of every show. I'm going to say it again. You wake up, you kick ass, you be kind, you repeat. That's how we do things, man. You have the power to change somebody's life just by smiling at them. Make sure and take advantage of that power. And, hey, man, break out your guitar and get guitarded. That's what we do in the Moose world. This is the Moose from the Moose Pit in OKC. Check it out. Until next time, don't forget, do me a favor. Take care. We'll see you next time.
All rights to the music heard on the Metal Moose are reserved by the authors, their labels, or authorized representatives that permitted their material to be used. The Metal Moose holds no rights to any music played on the show. Go to themetalmoose.com to submit your music to be heard on the show. Metal Moose accepts donations of money, Cheetos, bacon, and naked pictures. Thank you for tuning in and subscribe on iTunes. Rock out while you rack out, and consider yourself moosed.